Hello and welcome to Full Send with Abuga. Today we have the world champion himself, Mr. Adrien Paynel. Adrian, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, Abuga. Stoked to do this. Stoked to see where this goes, and yeah.
Of course, man, you're the world champion. Everyone wants to hear from you, wants to delve into your mind, wants to know the secrets behind what got you to where you are today. So yeah, man. First question, man. How did you get so dialed for this season? Like, what what really was it? Like, is that like one special thing?
No, I mean, I think the season was the culmination of a bunch of uh, time and effort put into trying to like hone my craft, and then
Yeah.
last year I kind of had a taste at it, and I learned that I could do it if I put everything together,
Uh-huh.
and then so this year was just putting my head down and putting everything together as I had been doing, but in a way that kind of was a bit more consistent throughout the year. And yeah, it's the meeting of a bunch of knowledge that I'd been building up for the past 5 years, and
Right.
um, so I think it all came together
All right, but you
well.
gotta give us at least one thing, at least one like a word of advice if someone wants to get to the top spot. Like one thing you
I
learned
mean,
this year. Yeah.
if someone wants to get to the top spot, I think going to the gym and working working out for skateboarding specifically is one of the most important things.
Yeah.
First of all, for speed off the line,
Yeah.
but also for like resilience of crashing. I do a bunch of upper body stuff, so I can kind of be confident in practice, say that I can throw myself into the bales and not have too many
Injuries.
consequences for the days after.
Yeah.
And then there's also a mental side of it where you know you've done everything, and so even when you get nervous on the line, because we all do, you'll know that hey, I've done everything, I've done the best that I can, I'm the best that I can
Can be.
be,
Yeah.
and let me just go do the best that I can do. And if I lose, that's okay because I did the best. But at least you can be in in
In
that
that
mental
headspace.
space of
Yeah.
knowing I did everything. So there's nothing holding me back.
Right. So physical, mental, it all plays a part and all
Yeah.
sort of comes together. So you gotta be well prepared, basically.
Yeah, the preparation is everything. I think I
Yeah.
mentioned briefly to you that I got kind of lucky, but you said, yeah, you got to be ready for the luck though, and
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it is being in a place where you can be lucky.
You can't take advantage. And yeah, awesome. Tell us a little bit about Austria. Austria was pretty awesome for you.
Yeah,
what was your qualifying position?
yeah. I mean, Austria was fun because it's kind of
Yeah.
like I think I've said it in other interviews and places, but like you live all of your winter life in kind of a bubble.
Yeah.
Last year I had Owen and Tony, and we were skating all together, and relatively we were all kind of going up together. So hey, maybe another group was going up together, but better than us. So we weren't
Yeah.
sure where we would stack up. We weren't sure where we would stack up when we got onto the track. Austria was kind of weird because it was pretty technical up top, but
Yeah.
then like a pretty strategic race in the bottom. And so going into qualifying, that was the first time of the season where we're like, okay, where are we gonna where are we gonna stack? And then
Yeah.
I qualified P1, so I was happy.
Tell us about the track, man. Like 120k, 120 kph is pretty
Yeah,
gnarly. First of all, you're telling me we had a conversation about like your setup earlier,
yeah,
couple weeks ago, and you're telling me the waves on the pavement. Like, could you
yeah,
tell me more about the track, what you did to your setup, things you had to adjust?
yeah. So the track was actually really fun.
Yeah.
We started in like a pretty long straight to push, and then uh, little kink, and then a long right that dove into the left, which was fun because it like preloaded your wheels a lot, and then you got to slide right to grip left, and then a pretty flat straight
Yeah.
into a super crucial right that would just drop you into this long straight. But the right was pretty flat, so you needed to nail
The lines.
your
Yeah.
speed out of that because you would be carrying that for the rest of the straight. And then you just went through some various chicanes, going super fast, accelerating, trying to find the smooth part of the pavement, but there wasn't much, so you're kind of waving the whole way. the
Yeah.
whole first, because I think it was a 4 day, and the whole first day, um, I was just struggling. Like I'd get halfway down the straight and
Wobbling.
just start like wobbling, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do nothing with that because like I can't, you can't really qualify well if you're standing up halfway down the straight.
Yeah.
But it was kind of everyone's experience. And then Dexter, at the end of the day, I think put on a 20 degree, or like wedged his trucks to 20 degree, and it did all the difference. But I was very adverse to that, and I was trying to change bushings, I was trying to change front
Yeah.
angles. I don't know why, because back angles is what I normally change. Like if we
Yeah.
go up, it's back. If it's like a more technical track, we'll go back angles up like super quickly.
Yeah.
Um, and I was kind of hesitant to drop my angle all the way down to a 20. And once I did,
It was
I
easy.
put my like standard bushings back in, and it was night and day. Um, and there was still like some little hint of a wobble at the bottom, but I think if you want to have the fastest setup, it has to be kind of on edge.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hashtag Max Verstappen. That's exactly
yeah.
kind of setup he likes. And I guess that's also the kind of setup the 2025 world champion likes too.
Depending on
So
tracks.
yeah, depending on the track.
For Austria, like, because also if you change your back angle, it messes up with your sliding, and I kind of wanted to. I had in the back of my mind that maybe I wanted to do a stand up slide, but I couldn't really. I wasn't as
Yeah.
comfortable with 20 degree rear, and so I kind of had to put that away. Um,
Wait,
if I wanted to go.
so you're saying in another parallel world there's an Adrien Paynel doing stand-ups at 120 into the
No,
brickies.
not in the. But like if you see
Yeah.
and even in racing, I do like some Roman candles out of that left, kind of stay behind everyone,
Yeah.
and just like manage my speed in a way that wasn't as noticeable as just standing up.
And like in one of your in your qualifying run in Utah, you did
Yeah.
a stand-up slide which no one else was doing, which was like you should have seen the live chat. People were absolutely freaking out. I was freaking out as well. It was so cool. But what did I want to ask you? Is that where racing is going these days? Do you feel like it's going to get to a point where, in order for people to maximize how much speed they can carry around the track, or stand-up slide is going to be a more common thing?
I mean, I'm hoping that after this year
Yeah,
and uh, seeing my use of it, I hope that people are gonna get inspired to kind of play around with them themselves for
yeah,
racing. I think, and physics would say that it's the fastest way down a hill.
yeah.
Uh, I had a local spot in Santa Barbara when I lived up there, Gibraltar, and most of the boys that we skate with, Pat Welsh, Robbie Moore, um, they're all like stand-ups, like free
Stand-up
rides and
sliders. Yeah,
stand-up slides. And when Owen and I would try to go as fast as possible down it, I always felt that I was faster stand-up, just because I
yeah,
was so comfortable on that road stand-up. And so that kind of ingrained in me, like stand-up sliding a road is going to be faster if you can do it. So
yeah,
I don't think it's useful for every single corner or every single track, but I think like in Utah, there's going to be corners um, that lend themselves to stand-up slide. And if you can do it,
yeah,
and you can be comfortable with doing it, and you can do it at 100%, 110%,
yeah,
then I think it's going to be faster because you're putting more weight onto your wheels. You're using less. You're only using your board. Like I don't know if you saw in Utah, but I could have my body over the hay bales and
yeah,
open up that corner relatively way more than I would have been able to if I had my hand on the ground. And there was something with it kind of looked like I was able to coil into my heel side
yeah.
a bit more efficiently or a bit more powerfully, and carry more speed that way. But yeah, I think there's a bunch of things that play into the
Into it.
fact that
Yeah.
stand-up sliding is faster.
Right. But tell us a little bit more about Austria, man. You seemed very comfortable at this track. You didn't seem to really have any troubles throughout the heat. Yeah, tell us what was your strategy going into it, and what are some things you learned, etc.
Yeah, so Austria was fun.
Yeah,
It was kind of the first time that Uh, the skating was fun, but once we got all the angles right and our setups right, it
Yeah.
was pretty easy to skate.
Hmm.
But everyone knew that the long straight at the bottom means it's going to be a strategy and draft race.
Yeah.
I kind of bit into the ideology that um, you should never sandbag,
Yeah.
and I got in Italy because
Yeah.
Italy World Roller Games was a kind of a sandbag race.
Yeah.
I had the top qualifying, so I tried to go out front in Italy, and I got third because I got drafted in the bottom.
Yeah.
And there was just no way to run from
Because
people in
yeah,
Austria because it
the
just
draft is crazy.
there was just no way.
Yeah.
So it was kind of the first time that I went to a race and I was at a race and I was like, throughout the whole weekend, I was considering strategy, considering all that. But at the end of the day, it was pretty simple. Like you don't want to be first going into the end of the straight, and you
Yeah.
want to be first coming out of the straight, and you want to survive that last corner. And you want to tuck as deep. And I knew one thing I knew that I was tucking deeper than anyone because I watched everyone's qualifying, and I was tucking deeper into that last corner than anyone. So I knew that if I could get in front and just tuck and go, not many people would be able to follow me into that slide.
Yeah.
Um, so that was kind of my strategy. I kind of wanted to be second because I was second throughout all the races. So I made a move past Owen pretty quickly in finals to be second behind
Yeah.
Dexter. And then from there, we just all followed Dexter. It kind of sucks, but it's also kind of fun. Like I think it's like a Monaco type track where
Yeah.
it's not the best racing, but it's very interesting because like Monaco is a qualifying race.
Yeah.
This race is a strategy race, and that's
Yeah.
cool. It's like a Maryhill. It's I think if every track was like this, it would be a boring season. But the fact
But it
that
makes yeah.
and you see finals kind of we still raced like 90% to the top section. You couldn't be slow,
Yeah.
but there was always that like after like, and I wish we had a camera on the straight because that's where everything was playing out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if we'll go back to Austria next year, but I would love to, and it's cool seeing strategy play out
Yeah.
and it becomes a game of chess, not only skateboarding.
And at the bottom, I think there was a was there a crash as well? Like what was
There
going
was a,
through what was going through your mind when you saw like Harry? Could you just like walk us through like
I mean, I knew I was in front going into the protected position,
yeah,
so I knew that if there was a crash, I was I was protected in that aspect. But I still like got up to my board as quickly as I could,
yeah,
um, and pushed as hard as I could just to like check all boxes.
yeah,
And I'm glad I did because after looking at the rules, I realized I could have argued for it, but technically, Dexter would have won the heat if he crossed the line before me,
yeah, fair enough.
which would have sucked.
But like
Uh,
did you know like what was going on behind you at all? Or like
no, I heard stuff and then I saw like a Harry coming down the line through the grass with some fucking crazy theme music going on in the back of my head. Um,
as jokes, man.
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But then you know you're in that position and you're not really processing. You're just what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. You're not really
Yeah.
processing what's happening, and then you go back and you look at it and it was pretty
Pretty
funny.
yeah, it is pretty funny.
But I kind of wish that we got through finals without crashing, but that's 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 racing.
That's very soon. And yeah, man, let's talk a little bit about Turkey. Turkey
Yeah,
was a fun one. Again, I think you got top quali, if I'm not wrong.
yeah.
And honestly, like what is it? What allows you to be able to consistently get top quali at a lot of these races? Is it something to do with your equipment? Are you doing anything differently? Because I know like your training partners are there on the hill with you, and these are people that you're training with all the time. So tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew because I would do that
Yeah,
more. And I think that's
yeah,
the case with everyone. Um, but Turkey's a special track in my heart.
yeah,
Um, it's the it's one of the most challenging tracks and pushes the rider
yeah,
and their technical abilities the most. Um, and last year I had a personal battle with I really wanted to top quality and beat Diego, but I wasn't able to.
yeah.
And Turkey's kind of the one that when you're in the gym, you're like, fuck, I really want to win Turkey. And that'll give you the extra rep or that'll give you the
That
the
boost.
extra velocity
Yeah,
when you're squatting and stuff. And so Turkey kind of always lives in the back of your mind. Um, so I kind of went to Turkey, and it was also the first back-to-back race with Austria that I had ever experienced, which was pretty cool.
yeah,
But we went to Turkey, and the track was way different. There was like they must have put some seal or something on or like just sand build up
yeah,
over the year, had gotten onto the road, and it was way different. So we kind of had to relearn how to skate the track, and what we it was a 4 day event, but pretty much one of the days we only had 3 runs because we would run it and everyone crashed, and then we would wash it, and then we would run it again and everyone crashed. So we would have to wash it again and then kind of like think about what we wanted to do.
yeah,
Um, but then when we went into quality, I like no, I don't know what the special thing is.
yeah.
I think Turkey
Well,
is one of the only places I wasn't a second ahead, so
yeah,
I had some disadvantage
yeah,
on the Turkey, um, but and like Turkey is a great place to use stand-up sides, but the fog seal didn't really let me
yeah.
because it was like inconsistent. Um, but
And
I think
okay,
it's
what's also like when you're going through these quali runs and like when you're doing studies or whatever, like kind of what's going through your head? Like, are you thinking at all? Are you processing like information, or are you just like, okay, standy and sit
Yeah, no,
down?
I have to talk to myself. Like
Yeah,
unless I get like not lucky, but
yeah,
unless I do everything right and I get into flow and I don't have to think.
yeah,
There's a lot of like self-talk and a lot of like, all right, this corner you do this.
yeah,
Or like I just shut myself up for this corner and I get back in tuck and then I think about the next corner. I think with the Q1, Q2, Q3 system, I've gotten pretty good at like managing
yeah,
how hard I push, how hard I need to push. Um, So that's kind of maybe one of my advantages is that like my ability to build up to it and only have
yeah,
to like really think hard for Q3. And the way that I manage practice also goes into that. Like I like to do like one pretty chill but still a qualifying run to see what
hmm,
my Q1 lap could look like, and if I'd still make it in, like how much margin I have
yeah,
basically. Um, so yeah, there's a bunch of things throughout the weekend that build up to how I go through quality, but I think a good kick is a big part of that.
yeah,
Um, and then just like being able to be in the zone. I think that's where I messed up in El Salvador was I got too confident. I thought I had too much margin, and
yeah.
I made too many mistakes on my Q3 lap, and that opened the door
For Nick,
for Nick to
yeah,
get me. And Nick also put down a perfect lap. I don't even know if I could have beat him if I put down a perfect lap. Um, but it's, I think qualifying is more mental than one would think because
yeah,
you need to put the perfect lap down.
yeah. And being able to coach yourself through that, being able to, not like if you mess up, not be too hard on yourself, etc. Like it all plays in. So yeah,
Exactly. And
tell us about your heats, man. Like I think a lot of this was so uneventful for you, but we were talking with Harry, and Harry was like, um, you and him collided here,
yeah,
and what happened?
my heats was actually pretty fun.
Yeah,
I that was the only heat that I pushed out into second, and also with that fog seal thing,
yeah,
the push the push box was completely different. When I don't know if you noticed, but in finals, Harry didn't put his hands down, which he normally does, and
yeah,
it's because we would slip. And you can see Stefano right here.
yeah,
he
Uh,
slips, and like that was happening every time, and so that was kind of playing into our minds. But that was the heat that I wasn't able to push out front.
yeah.
Um, but I knew I had pace, so I should have been more patient, but I wasn't, and uh, I get past Harry with I like close up on Harry pretty quickly here, and then I try to go around the outside. And here I do a squatty.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like I initiate the slide, uh, and but I kind of mess up my line. Um, but I think that led Has into a compromised line as well.
Yeah. 'Cause
So
he was
and then
surprised.
and then
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we held on. But
Yeah. Yeah, it was otherwise pretty much uneventful. Like once you kind of
yeah, and then
knew like there was no one behind you, like did you then chill out or did you check at
uh, I
all?
th- I think that one. I think that one I pushed pretty far to the bottom. There was one heat where I did see that there was no one behind me,
Yeah.
and I chilled. But that heat, I was just go. I didn't give myself the time to look behind me.
Fair enough. And like what goes through your mind? Like let's say you're in the lead and you have another rider pressuring you from behind, like what is your thought process then? Like do you think about strategies like oh I'm gonna do this and that or like what goes through your
Not
head?
not really.
Yeah.
This year I was lucky enough to not have too much pressure put on me, and I
Yeah.
hopefully the riders that I'm racing against put the pressure on themselves. And if I can be in front, then I'm going to take my qualifying lines, or maybe a tiny bit more defensive. But
Yeah.
um, I mean, there's some strategy, but it's mostly strategy that you think of before the heat, and then I just let the heat play out.
Right.
Um, I know where I'm faster, I know where I'm slower, I know where I need to defend, and then
When you
I
say
let the subconscious kind of
take
deal with the
over.
rest.
When you say defend, what do you mean? Like when you say defend in a longboarding context, like
Yeah.
do you take different
Uh,
lines like
Yeah,
earlier? Yeah.
kind of like race cars where you'll pinch the inside as much as you can without compromising your speed too much. And if
Yeah.
someone wants to go up your inside, then you know that it's going to be compromised too much.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just not maxing out the edge of the road and using up a bit more space. And I know some people will air brake like with arms wide to take up as much space as possible.
Yeah.
Um, but I like to let speed do the defending for me.
And I'll say, do you
Off,
think
offense is the best defense.
that is true? But do you think that your equipment, specifically like your wheels, gave you a big advantage over everybody else? Because like I'm not sure, but you're like one of the only people running seismics at this event.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, some people throughout the season told me that I would have qualified fifth if everyone was on seismics. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't think the deltas had a 1 second delta over everyone. I think a lot of
Yeah.
hard work played into that. But there's no doubt that the seismics were the best wheels that I could be on. I they're more competitive for racing than alphas.
Yeah.
There's just a bit more margin that I can push through. There's a bit more slowdown. So I think there's some advantage for me, and I spent so much time on alphas that I had to train myself to like really shave down like the minute details, and then
Yeah.
once I'm on a bigger wheel, I have a bit more margin to play with.
Yeah.
So the deltas definitely helped me throughout the season. I cannot deny that. But I don't think I don't think they're 1 second ahead of everyone. And I really hope more people ride deltas next year
Yeah.
for themselves, because I think they're a really good wheel, and they kind of consume a different part of competitive skateboarding than Magnums do. And I think Magnums are a great wheel, but you have to ride them quite differently than deltas.
Yeah.
So I hope that some people realize that stylistically deltas are better, because I think for some people deltas are going to be
Probably
better.
a better fit.
Um,
Yeah.
and I and I hope that happens at at the top level, because I want to see how much of of it is the wheels, how much of it is me.
Yeah,
I'd be really curious.
I'm also very curious. um, but yeah, Harry was telling me how much of Harry and Sabrina actually were telling me how much of a mental how much psychic damage they take from just skating Erzincan because it's such a scary track to race, to even just skate down. And do you feel the same way? How do you deal with that personally? Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Turkey's got a special place in my heart. I love that track.
Yeah,
This year there was a little bitter in that because of the slidey pavement, but I didn't ever feel unsafe on it. But there's like on this road more than any other road, there's moments where like, wow, I survived that. Like or like you wobble
yeah,
through turn six, I think that long right, or you go over the crack and you kind of managed it a bit wrong this time, and now you're offline. Um, I got the biggest flat spot that I've ever seen in my life on my own wheel, in the like
yeah,
corner nine slide or something. And you just get stuck in the side and you're like, oh, there's nothing I can do. I'm just going
yeah,
flat spotting my wheel to all hell. So that was kind of a bummer. But I think Turkey kind of pushes you technically the most, and that's what I want to be skating is. Um, Diego and I always had this and a bunch of other people. We always had this conversation of like, oh, it's good to have a slow track on tour because it plays more strategy and it's more detailed. Um, and I still think that's the case, but I have migrated a bit towards his thinking that tracks
yeah,
at this level should be like Turkey, where they technically were being pushed
yeah.
as much as and it still leads to really good racing because
It
we're
does.
more likely to make small mistakes and
Yeah.
the gap's more likely to close up. Um,
But the
but I
stakes are
think
high. But the stakes are so high. At least the WDSC is doing safety, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
and that's the nice thing about WDSC is that we can go to these kind of tracks um, and push ourselves because we know the safety is pretty good. There's we can always wish for more, and there's
yeah,
always like half a day where we're like, oh, we need more hay bales here. But I think in time that's all going to get better, and it's not due to lack of trying from the WDSC's part that we don't have hay bales or they're not placed right. It's just
yeah,
a lack of knowledge and experience of knowing where we need hay bales, where luges need hay bales, where
yeah.
rollers need hay bales, how many hay bales we're going to go through a weekend, and stuff like that. So I think
All right.
in due time, all that is going to be kind of an afterthought for us riders,
Yeah.
which is not the case at the moment.
All right. And now let's talk a little bit about Isle of Man. Um, this one was pretty good. Have I skipped something? No, no.
No,
That's the order.
that's the order.
So yeah, man, tell us about Isle of Man, bro. Like Harry had a lot of fun things to say, not just about the racetrack. He loved the racetrack. He was also talking about how great it was of a place to compete in because of the spectators,
Yeah.
and all sorts of things. So yeah, tell us your perspective, man.
Yeah, Isle of Man was special.
Yeah,
There's such a deep history of racing
yeah,
on that island because of the Isle of Man TT, the motorcycle race.
yeah,
And so it's just ingrained in the culture and everything that you do when you're eating, when you're sleeping, when you're walking around. There's this energy that's incredible. And I opposite of Harry did not like the track, um,
yeah,
but it's that's racing, and we race where we go. So
yeah. What
we
didn't
had
you
to
like
deal with
about
it.
it?
And it was honestly way better than we were expecting.
Yeah,
I the weather kind of sucked for us. It was really windy, really rainy, so we didn't get as much practice as we would have liked to have.
yeah,
So all the conditions kind of sucked, but everything else was so sick.
Yeah.
and like we had to take a pause in the riding because there were too many spectators on the track. Like that has never happened to me.
Yeah.
And during qualifying, like in theory, kind of sucked, but there was like a flare on my qualifying run, and I had to go through like a plume of smoke. But that was so sick because like people are just so stoked and fired up and bringing flares to the race. So
Yeah.
and yeah, you just talk to everyone, and the fact that we rode in the rain, everyone really respected that because the motorcycles don't race in the rain because it's
Yeah.
way too dangerous. Um, and so everyone was stoked that we were running in the rain. Um, and there was just a bunch of small stuff like that made it a really fun event. Um, Qualifying went pretty well, and racing, I was able to to be the only one that takes a normal line,
Yeah.
and it gave me an advantage. But I was also kind of lucky that everyone got jumbled up. I'm gonna grab my charger really quick.
All good. All good. Yeah. How was yeah.
Yeah, Isle of Man.
Yeah, tell us a bit about the track, as in like from a skating perspective, like what was difficult about it, and what do you feel like you did really well?
Yeah, Isle of Man was for sure a push track. There was no draft
Yeah,
games. It was so narrow that, and so this first corner that we go through, super rough on the apex, and so you kind of had to choose your line and hope that you chose a good one. Nick was able to go through it way faster than I was, um, and way faster than anyone. And then you tuck down the straight, and there was this double apex that was kind of blind. That you're tucking by bushes, and that was a really fun experience and really fun feeling. Like here, you don't know where you're tucking to, and you come out and you're just lined with the bales. If you did it right, you're just like already on the edge. And then you go down this steeper than you'd think straight, and and then you just slide, hoping that you slid right. And then there's the different patches, so your wheels are all sliding differently. And then you kick it left, and then you go over that fresh tar. I kind of wanted to high side you, and then this corner,
yeah,
you kind of just surf through and try to scrub as little speed as possible. But it was a super steep apex, so you try to just hit that apex, accelerate, and then
that's
tuck it at the
crazy.
bottom. And the scariest corner was the corner um, after the finish line because it was wet all weekend. There was no hay bales, and the biggest crashes of the weekend were on that corner. Actually, no, Adam hurt himself on that track, but
Yeah,
other than Adam, the bigger crashes were
dude,
on that corner.
no one's mentioned that so far. That the different patches had different grip, so like your wheels are all
Mm.
doing different things. Like, you know, us at home we're just watching you, so that's like, yeah, something really interesting to hear.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
um, it was so inconsistent.
yeah,
Like, and we are all my form was way different because it was just like to be more consistent through those patches.
yeah,
Um, but the amount of times I high sided in practice through this corner, and then you'd get stuck in the slide going right, and then you wouldn't have time to go left. I think that happened
yeah,
in consies and in semis. There was just a bunch of like you never. It was kind of a roll of the dice on that track.
yeah, yeah.
But that played into my strategy
Uh-huh.
in finals because I knew everyone was. I messed up my first corner, um, and I just could not get that first corner right on Sunday, and it was really annoying me. But I messed it up, and I got passed by everyone. And then there's just no room, no draft to pass everyone. Sorry, to pass everyone before the left. And so I don't know if you see, but I kind of stand up
Yeah,
and give myself space, and then everyone messed up because everyone was so bunched, and it was kind of obvious that it was kind of obvious that everyone was going to mess up. I didn't think when I was skating, I wasn't like, oh, everyone's gonna mess up. I was like, well, I hope everyone messes up. But in hindsight, it was pretty obvious that everyone was gonna mess up,
Yeah.
um, or make small mistakes at least. And so I focused on making as little mistakes as possible. And I'm lucky, but also doors opened up for me, and I kind of weaved through it as best as I could. And then Harry hit this. There was this like wet patch in the right that had been there all weekend, and Harry got the bad side of it in finals and high sided due to it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, this wet patch had been cursing us all weekend. It just would
brutal.
not leave.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, yeah. It was, so what was going through your head like once sort of everybody passed you here? Like did you have
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
I was in a position. I was in finals, and I was in a position in the championship where I could drop a race.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, it wasn't like do or die.
yeah,
Um, I honestly was like, all right, well, I'm fourth at this race. That's okay. And then I got past Brahms, and I was like, oh, nice. And then Tony and Haz were kind of battling, so
yeah.
I pushed my nose up there. And there's a chance that even if Haz didn't high side, I would have been able to pass him. But honestly, I don't think so. Um, but everything all came together for me on Isle of Man,
Yeah.
and I like to think that all the bad luck from 2024, every everyone last bit of it went into Isle of Man 2025, and helped
Yeah.
me out. Um, so yeah, it was a good feeling, and to win it there on that track,
Yeah.
surrounded by that culture was
Pretty
something
cool.
special.
Yeah. Nice,
And I
man.
got to see my sister in London on the way
Yeah.
there, so that was nice.
Speaking of family, your family does support you quite a bit, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
I can't deny it, and
Yeah.
it's one of the things I'm most thankful for
Yeah.
and most fortunate for, because without the support of family, especially in this sport where we're
Mm-hmm.
not, I still live with my parents,
Yeah.
just to be able to save up money and work and go to school and do everything that I want to do. And if I had to pay rent, then I don't think I'd be able to do
Yeah.
tour as much as I did it this year.
Yeah.
So and then even beyond that, just the support of my family, my mom, my dad, and my aunt were in El Salvador, which was really sick. My sister
Pretty
comes out
cool.
to like a bunch
Yeah.
of races when she can. So no, that's something I'm blessed with for sure.
Shout out to the Paynel family.
Yeah,
We love to see it. We love to see it.
honestly,
Yeah.
honestly.
Now moving on to Utah, where you blew everybody's minds. Utah was honestly pretty crazy. Can you tell us, you know, how was the event for you in remembrance? Like, tell
Yeah,
us highlights down. Yeah, go for it.
Utah was funny because I had done the calculations after Isle of Man. I'd done the calculations. I knew I if I got into finals, then I would be the 2025 world champion.
Yeah,
Um, Going into the event, I it was the first time I like rented my own car, and I flew in alone, and so that was kind of different. But it was also nice because I'm kind of uh, a homebody and kind of introverted, so kind of
yeah,
being alone before that was nice. I think it put a bit more pressure on me than I would have needed. Like it's always nice to travel with Owen and Dexter and Brahms and like the normal crew, because it's like the normal routine. But there was
yeah,
something nice about getting there alone. Um, and then I skated like absolute dog shit the first day, or like the first half day.
yeah.
I was trying to change my form because I was seeing people that were doing things differently, and I thought I would be better.
If you switched it up,
And then
yeah,
the day of qualifying series racing, the first like 3 laps I just like free rode, didn't put a glove down until like the lunch break. And then Brahms and Chase Hiller were talking about doing stand-up slide in the corner that in the last corner,
Yeah.
and I had been doing it during my free ride laps, and so I tried it. And then after the qualifying series qualifying, I kind of had some data to work with, so I pushed on a lap, and I realized that I actually did have some pace if I put everything together, and if I just trusted myself. I reverted back to my style. Like I was trying to grab for the left corners, and I stopped trying to grab for the left corners and just um, skated how I wanted to skate the road. And I realized that I had some pace, and so then I committed to doing the stand-up slide.
Yeah.
And I was able to do it consistently. And once I was able to do it 3 runs consistently, I knew I was going to do it for qualifying.
And were you skating like freshies each of these runs, or like just like scrubs?
Fresh season 1 runs,
Yeah.
but it honestly felt better on fresh shoes because you could push it out really hard and it would like hold you. Whereas where like a 1 run you kind of had to like uh, preload it and then push it out so it didn't go out too far.
Yeah.
Um, but I was stoked that I was able to open up the corner way more.
Yeah.
Um, and that corner had been giving me trouble because if I like one slid right into it, it didn't really work. My I didn't like it was too little of an angle to put a glove down, and it would hook back up on me really hard. Um, so I pretty early in my weekend I committed
Standy.
to the stand up slide.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty sick, man. Did you change your setup at all for this race, or was it just
Yeah,
stock? Yeah.
it was a 26 rear I
Yeah.
put in
What bushings do you have there?
standard. What is it? Blue up front, blue barrel, blue cone,
Yeah.
um, pink, pink, green in the rear.
Right. Yeah.
Venom skaters don't really know duros; they only know colors. It's
Yeah.
fill in the coloring book.
Yeah, man. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to know any more than that.
And
Yeah.
um, for qualifying, it was funny because it was like raining, and then it would stop raining, and then on the commentary they said that it might be raining, or I didn't have any rain spots on my visor.
Yeah.
Visor thing. Uh, I don't know if I would have skated the same if I did, but and also this line was way different because everyone was going inside of the pothole, and
Yeah.
I knew I was pushing myself too hard if I went inside the pothole, so I went outside the pothole, and that kind of straightened up the exit for me, and I think that gave me some speed as well.
And this is one of the tracks where you're a second ahead, right?
Yeah, I think this was my biggest out though, was like
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
Somewhere I was 1.5. Maybe it was 1.5 here.
Yeah, it was crazy. You're just able to find just so much more time than everyone else, man. Just insane all-time performance, I have to say.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
let's. Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna get in the 43s,
Yeah.
like the 243s. And once when I learned I did that, I was super happy.
Yeah, man. You should be. That was amazing. And let's talk
Thank
about
you.
like um the actual battling now. Like Harry was telling me that this was more like a Mary Hill type of track.
Mm, yeah,
Like the road isn't too technical, but you have to be riding at your absolute best in order to win.
yeah,
And what was
yeah.
the
I mean
experience for you? Yeah.
that's the case with like less technical roads. Is
Yeah.
the details make more of a difference. I was lucky to be able to push out in front all of my heats, and then with that delta, I knew I could kind of just go and go as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Um, Also, since the corner was so slow and so tight, if anyone was battling in the first 3 corners, then the leader or whoever wasn't battling would
Yeah.
just run away. So I was kind of just hoping that would happen. Um, and then yeah, in my semifinals, I messed up pretty hard in that first corner, so it was way tighter than I would have liked it to be. But I was still able to kind of eke a gap out by the time we got to
Yeah.
the straight. Um, yeah, and then finals was way different because it was raining,
Yeah,
and like
finals. Yeah.
I could have done things different, but I didn't.
Tell us,
Um,
man. Tell us what happened.
it has just ran a perfect race.
Yeah.
I take too long to get in my tuck, and we're like neck and neck on the push here, but then I take too long to get in my tuck, and he might have had a couple like the last pushes were a bit better for him, and he passes me.
Yeah.
And then here I like had some exit speed on him, but I had nowhere to go, so I like fell into the front of him. Um, but then from there he ran a perfect race, and there was
Yeah.
nothing really for me to do. I could have opened up the last corner a bit more, and maybe that would have opened up some different opportunities, but I didn't do that, and that's how the race went. So I'm stoked for Haz that he won that one because yeah, surrounded by Rolo, an event by Rolo,
Yeah.
surrounded by all the Venom boys. It was a
Seriously.
good
Yeah.
one to win.
Harry was saying that he ran fresh rain wheels and that you guys were on scrubs. Is that a thing? Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I
Yeah.
wasn't prepared. I wasn't
Yeah.
well prepared or prepared enough, um, and uh, I didn't have the best rain wheels I could have had.
Yeah.
Um, and he did, and that's part of racing. So,
That is part of racing.
um,
Yeah. Yeah, man. Didn't know rain riding was so technical as well. So
I think it's more technical
yeah.
than try
Yeah.
because you can play with like I can't wait for this winter because Max Cap's got a lathe and I'm gonna work with Seismic for
Yeah.
to like develop some rain wheels. So we're gonna get crazy with like the grooves and different patterns and stuff. So
Sounds pretty
um,
good. Yeah. Looking forward to what you
yeah,
guys cook up, man. Sounds like it's gonna be exciting.
yeah, I'm stoked. And rain skating is just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much more minute and a lot more control and a lot more like different changes within the slide.
Yeah.
I hate being wet, but I love rain skating.
Same, bro. I hate the cleanup, man. The cleanup after is
Yeah,
the
the
worst.
cleanup sucks. I actually kind of like taking my board apart, and I'm weird for that, but
Fair enough. Everybody has the thing. And yeah, tell us about El Salvador, man. Like, I mean, you were kind of going into this like you had already won, technically, right?
yeah. Um,
So you're
El
pretty
Salvador
comfortable.
was
Yeah.
a fun Central America vacation. Um,
Yeah.
we got there a day early because we thought it was a 4-day event, but it was actually a 3-day event. So we went surfing.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think I would have gone surfing if the championship was still in play. And
Yeah.
then we saw the road, and the road was way different than it looked on videos because the government got really excited and repaved the road.
Yeah.
Um, and I was ready for like this pristine. I think I would have done really well on what it was, um, but that's what it wasn't. It wasn't like that, so we kind of had to change how we thought about it, and it
Yeah.
was a lot more survival than we thought. And from our first runs to our qualifying runs, I think we took off like 2 minutes, 20 seconds or something,
Yeah.
which is hilarious,
Yeah.
which
That's
is
funny. Yeah.
kind of the first time I've experienced that. Um, and yeah, it was kind of strategic because that uphill straight, we kind of knew we could pass people. Um, but it was going to be really hard to pass someone if they didn't make mistakes
Yeah.
in the bottom section. So I really wanted to be in front before the bottom section. And as I mentioned, I wasn't. I was like I was having a lot of fun, and I got too confident in qualifying, and I
Yeah.
got second, and that kind of took away all my confidence. I knew I wasn't the fastest person on track, um,
Right.
and that was the first time it happened all season. And there was Santiago and Rubim, which are um,
South American,
two
Brazilian.
South American skaters,
Yeah.
and Argentinian and Brazilian, and without a doubt, the best kicks in the world. The most athletic skaters in the world.
Yeah.
And I got absolutely destroyed by them in the push.
Yeah.
And so kind of battling from a non-advancing position was fun. And uh, some skaters mentioned that it was the first time, like I was skating like I was under pressure, which isn't good.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that in the racing. But it's true that I had to make moves and I wanted to make them quickly because I didn't want to be behind anyone in the bottom section. So I was kind of pushing pretty aggressively to make moves in the top section.
Yeah.
Um,
Just to
and I
put
don't think
yourself.
I
Yeah.
didn't take too big of risks in my mind at least. But it was a different position and a different game to get past two
Yeah.
people instead of leading the race out from the front.
Yeah, dude, holy shit, that kick.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
and I knew
Yeah.
like I knew I had no chance against Rubim.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked that I got that close to him,
Yeah.
and then Santiago was even better than him. So in our quarterfinals, it was Santiago, Rubim, and Carlotti, and Santiago got in front of Rubim, and that kind of stuffed Rubim up so I could get next to him a bit quicker, and
Yeah.
then I had some pace on Santiago to get past him um, after that left into the uphill. Um, and then I think Carlotti followed me through with that one, um, and
Yeah.
then the bottom section was kind of just survival and don't make too big of a mistake, and you'll be fine.
Dude, it was a gnarly truck, man. I'm glad you guys, most of you came back in one piece.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
was scary.
it's unfortunate the way it happened, and I
Yeah.
I hope that it doesn't happen again. I think we have this experience of
Yeah.
of uh, of a government being excited and doing something that they do think is
The right
best
thing.
for us, but
Yeah.
really it's not, and it made it way more dangerous.
Yeah.
There are a lot of shoulders, pucks weren't lasting. A lot of shoulders were being popped out. I know Ulrich Becker got really hurt and got
Yeah.
sent to the hospital and was in the hospital for a couple days. Um, and and I have a hard time thinking that that would have happened if the pavement was good as it was
Yeah.
before. So hopefully we learn from that and that doesn't happen again. But
Fingers crossed.
it's fingers crossed. But also there's things we can do to prevent it, so we don't have to cross our fingers and hope for it. We can just put put structures in place so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. True that.
But honestly, I'm not super upset about it because we didn't have that experience,
Yeah.
or the WDSC at least didn't have that experience, and the government was truly trying to do something great,
Yeah.
and they hosted us fantastically throughout the time that we were there. Um, and other than the track being repaved, I have really nothing to complain about,
Yeah.
and it's a pretty privileged position to be in somewhere like El Salvador and complain about the pavement on a road. Um,
Yeah.
so, um, so yeah, I hold no hard feelings from that event, and it
Yeah,
was really
man.
fun. The track was amazing, and and it pushed us all really hard, and yeah, like the event was amazing. Like we had a big, huge riders tent
Yeah.
and the Finnish
Party. Yeah.
electric banner thing, and there was a banner at the top that would like you can
The
see it
names.
here.
Yeah.
You had the names of the riders like that had to be on the line and that were dropping. Like everything about it was so awesome, and that's how a downhill skateboarding race should be, and hopefully will be in the
Moving
future.
on. Yeah.
So it was nice to see, get a perspective of what we could have. Um,
Yeah.
so I was really stoked to be there, and it was genuinely a really good race.
Do you know if they're going back next year? This year?
I'm pretty sure we'll be back in El Salvador. I don't know if it'll be the same track.
Yeah.
Um, I hope that it's the same track with
Better pavement.
a much improved pavement, but
Yeah.
we'll see. There's tons of good roads around there. So
Yeah,
and
man.
and Surf El Tunco and La Libertad was amazing and a beautiful place to be.
I bet, man.
I'm bummed that I'm sure we'll get to it, but I'm bummed that it ended the way it did. But
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll
tell
let you
us. I
have
mean,
the
we can
floor.
talk about it now, man. You guys, what was kind of like happening? What kind of led to that decision?
Yeah, so a bunch of things led to that decision. The practice on our racing day, there was something on the track, either oil or what. We think it's oil because some of the boys, most everyone crashed there,
Yeah,
and it smelled like oil. Um, or it was water that like raised the oil from the fresh pavement up or something. But there was some slimy thing on the surface, and it kind of all spooked us. And then they fixed it, and they put like sand on it, and they kind of fixed it. But we had no experience under the rain. Like if you look at Rhone,
yeah,
we didn't have any experience under the rain on this pavement, on this road, and we didn't have any time to gain experience and take a practice lap and all that. Take two practice laps. Um, in 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 Utah, we had four practice runs. In Rhone, we had or three practice runs,
yeah,
and we had time to learn the track and learn if we should shorten the track or stuff like that. And we
yeah,
didn't have those luxuries in El Salvador. And considering the danger and the injuries that had already occurred on the track, uh, I agree with the decision to not run finals.
yeah,
And it was a hard decision to make, and it took us a while, and we're sorry that it took us so long. And that's something that we're putting in systems to avoid that
yeah,
for years coming, where we'll have structure in place to have those decisions made for us, or to give us a window that we either run it or we don't run it. And
yeah,
it sucks that we don't run it, but it sucks even more that we make people wait 3 hours and then we don't run it.
yeah,
um, and I think that was the biggest problem,
yeah. But it's
was that.
a learning opportunity. It always is. So,
Of
you know,
course, and I've been talking about experience and learning from those experiences,
yeah,
and I'd like to believe that the WDSC does that pretty well, and every year it's gotten better. So,
yeah.
um, no, I'm stoked to see what the future holds.
Likewise, man. And on that note, let's start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
How are you preparing for this season, man? Same old formula? You throwing in something new? Um, how is it going to go for you, man? Next couple months,
I
winter training.
I don't know. So,
Yeah,
unfortunately, Owen moved out of San Diego, and he was my main training partner
yeah,
for the past 2 years, past 5 years, honestly. Um, and so that'll be different. Um, but Nick Brahms moved in, and Nick is who I learned how to skate with. He pretty much he brought me into downhill skating,
yeah,
and I have a ton to learn from Brahms. So I'm stoked for that. Max Cap's coach is uh, is up in San Clemente, and I skated a lot with him last year, and he's even more motivated this year. So I'm stoked for that. Cole Trotta's moving down to San Diego, so there's kind of a new life in San Diego,
yeah.
in terms of skaters and who lives here. And also in May, so before the season starts, I'll be done with college, and
Nice.
I've
Congrats.
college has taken up like most of my time. Um, So going into the season, knowing that I'm done with college and being completely unchained is gonna be a cool feeling.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of things that I don't know how they're gonna affect me.
yeah,
And also like I don't think I'm not sure I'll continue living in the States after I'm done with college.
yeah,
So having to make decisions about where I live um, in years coming and how I'm gonna make money. Um, or if the WDSC is going to pay me. That'd be pretty sick.
Shout out.
But
Yeah,
no, but how I'm going to make how I'm going to make a living and putting a lot of effort into that. So there's
yeah,
a lot of things that aren't really in my control and aren't for skateboarding
yeah,
um, that are going to change. So it's going to be a lot of managing that. But for the skating side, I think I've developed a pretty good formula for myself. I'm
yeah,
changing little bits here and there, just because there's things that I want to do better. There's a lot of things I want to do better, and there's a lot of things I can do better. So working on that, and I just want to beat all my times from like my. I just want to be a better skater next year and beat all my qualifying times and
Yeah.
uh, and see if it's possible. So
Let's see it, man. Let's see, bro. Even me, I want to see if it's possible. Like, I want to see, because that was, man, I don't know how much better you're gonna have to get to. I don't even think
yeah, I
there's
mean,
anything left, but
there's no
you know,
doubt that the level next year is gonna be raised.
yeah,
Everyone's gonna go home and work way harder than they did last year, as they always do.
yeah,
And it's gonna be my first season with a target on my back. Well, I've had a little target on my back, but I've never been world champion. So
yeah,
having to defend a title is gonna be different. So there's a lot of things that I'm excited to see how I exist through this winter and next year. But
yeah,
I had a really nice vacation. This I took like 2 weeks off.
yeah,
Finished up finals. The lady from France came into town and we spent some time together. So all that has made for like a perfect off season or a
yeah.
perfect vacation. And now I'm heading into the
Christmas,
into the
Christmas as a
into the
world
winter.
champion must have been pretty sweet.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice to put the trophy under the tree for my parents.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much. Do you want to shout out your
of course.
sponsors?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah,
Seismic. There's no way I would have done the season without the help from them and the
yeah.
development of the deltas. So I really do hope that more people um,
Skate 'em. Yeah,
see give the deltas a try and see that they might be better for their style.
yeah,
And they're clearly the fastest wheels in the world for racing. So um, so
yeah,
I hope to see more people on them next year. Also, Madrid Skateboards and Prototype Racing together they made me the best board I could ask for.
yeah,
We'd been working with Madrid to make a shape that I was happy with, and there's the problem with the board is there's always something I want to do different to it, so it's
yeah,
ever changing. But they gave me a board and a platform that I could win races on, and Max helped me make it a racing machine wrapped in carbon and kind of helped me through the theories of racing and a board and all that. Um, Ulrich Becker with his foot brake soles.
yeah,
Foot brake soles are kind of my style. Would be impossible without foot brake soles. Just gripping the way that they grip on the board and being able to push out the stand up sides um, would not be possible without all that tech. And
yeah,
then lock foot stops. The foot stop I have on the front of my board is from a little company in Tahoe that offer me support. And so, yeah, all that came together to make a race winning board um, that I couldn't be happy with and
nice.
led to the win of the 2025 season. So
Congrats again,
yeah, I'm
man.
stoked and thank
Yeah,
you,
of
Abuga. Thanks for
course,
having me.
of course,
And
man.
thanks for doing this. I'm stoked to see
Yeah,
the opinions of all the other skaters
should be fun.
and
Yeah,
I think this is a good format to
yeah.
do it. And there's one last thing I wanted to say, but I forget. Oh yeah, happy 2026.
Happy
It's gonna be a,
2026, man.
it's gonna be a sick season, and
Yeah,
I can't wait.
likewise, man. And yeah, once again, thank you. And that's us wrapping up.
Of course. Thank you, Abuga.